Hi, another impromptu video from Happy Stuff and Fluff. But there's a time limit to this particular video. I wanted to get it out as soon as possible because, of course, this month has been Women's History Month, and we've also had International Women's Day. So I thought it was particularly poignant for me to do this particular video today. In fact, the way it came about is I sent out a newsletter. My newsletters probably go out once every 2 weeks, possibly even once a month, just to they're just newsletters, literally telling you the kind of things that I'm up to or what's coming up and so on. And anyway, you'll see what happened is I sent this newsletter out and I had more response from this particular newsletter than I have ever had with all of the newsletters that I've sent out. This got the most response, and so someone suggested that I share it with you, so I'm going to do that. I am going to put it up on screen as large as I can so that you can read along. I'm going to read it anyway to you. So yes, I hope you can see it. Anyway, here we go. So remember, this is a newsletter that I sent out last week. Here we go. So I'm typing this with just my left hand. My right hand is out of action. Well, not completely, but my fingers hurt when I type. I don't think they're broken, but they are very sore. Last weekend, I spent the most glorious afternoon in London with my eldest son. We had a long, delicious fish lunch at Bibendium by the Conran shop on a glorious day. It's a glorious sunny spring day. I had such a joyful and pleasurable afternoon, despite the fact that my hand and fingers were so agonisingly painful. What did you do, I hear you ask? Well, I was climbing into a black cab and paying more attention to the conversation of the driver than to the very heavy cab door. A strong gust of wind blew the door, slamming it into my hand, not quite trapping my fingers, but bending them all the way back. And I spent the whole journey deeply engaged in a breathing exercise to stop me from bursting into tears. I had to eat lunch with my left hand, and I won't go into detail of how much I struggled with my jeans when I went to the ladies. It took a while. As the week progressed, my very swollen fingers and hand changed all kinds of colours, and I have had to do everything one-handed. I couldn't help but think of my daughter Charlotte. Charlotte lost her left arm to cancer. She had to adapt and learn to do everything with one hand at 8 years old. I remember clearly watching her at the table, struggling to take the top off a jar. When she couldn't do it, she climbed off her chair, sat on the floor, and held the body of the jar between her feet, and after some time achieved her task. Later, I would marvel as she finally managed to tie her shoelaces. Think about it. As a family, we learned that Charlotte would ask for help when she needed it, but not before having a jolly good attempt at doing things for herself. Over the years, she managed so well that for the most part, we would forget that she had one arm. This month is Women's History Month, and we remember women who have achieved great things, and of course there are many of them. I celebrate Charlotte, my daughter, who, in the greater scheme of things, may not have achieved greatness, but a woman who, despite suffering so much in her far too short life, just quietly got on with it. She just quietly got on with it. She often struggled, but never with complaint. I mean, I could write a book. Instead, I will just say that my woman of greatness was a feisty, funny, caring young woman who dedicated herself to helping disadvantaged young people and who just got on with it. She died as she lived, with humility and with great courage. Cheers, Charlotte. I celebrate you, my silent hero. And that was the letter that I put out. Now, we do hear lots of things that women have achieved, that, you know, have achieved great things. But there are also, I know, Charlotte was not on her own, from a lot of the letters I've received of you guys, that some of you are doing extraordinary things quietly, without recognition. And so I want to celebrate you too. I want to say to you guys who are doing things, caring for people, going out of your way and doing all kinds of things for others without the recognition that you really deserve. And you probably know women yourself who do the same. In fact, if you do, I'd like to say, tell me about them. Either email me or drop, you know, you could go over to the community tab and tell me about it there. And you know, if you can send pictures of them or tell me about them, I'll do a video and we'll give them the recognition they need, or not need, but that they deserve, shall we say, the recognition they deserve. Just like Charlotte, these women all over the world, especially now, of course, the women of Ukraine who are on their own with their children, having lost everything. These are the silent heroes, most of whom we will never know. But in my little happy stuff and fluff home, if you know anyone, or if you yourself, I would call a silent hero, tell me about it and I'll feature you on a video. What do you think about that? I hope you do. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. But just in case you don't, cheers to all you women out there who are just quietly getting on with things. I salute you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.